Are you someone that gets sudden bursts of creativity and then you work on it and you take a 5 minute break, which ends up extending till midnight? Or are you someone who has saved so many inspiration posts or ideas and kept it for later, and then you either just forget about it or you just don't follow through? Or do you struggle with seeking external validation to proceed further? In my previous video, I had mentioned that I struggled to study during my exam time because I was too busy watching TV. So, all of these are clearly examples of a lack of discipline in your life. Now, what exactly is discipline? When I think of the word discipline, I immediately remember school days, and you probably have those teachers who are really laid back and don't really care about what you do. So you also don't respect them at the same time. So you never get any of their work done. They don't really care either. Okay, that's one type of teacher. And the other type of teacher is someone who's really strict and you still find it difficult to maintain a consistency or to learn something from them because they're just so strict. It's so hard on you. You cannot deal with it, right? And then there's also that last type of teacher who is like the nicest. I mean, like, not overly nice, but you respect that teacher because you know that they know their subject really well and they want to teach me something that is in the long run good for me. It is so much more easier to do things that that teacher expects of you when you respect that teacher, and at the same time you are also learning something and you are bettering yourself. So from my experience, what I think discipline is when you respect yourself and make decisions and you follow through on those consistently. Basically, when you are that third teacher for yourself in your life. Here are 3 ways how you can inculcate discipline in your life. Consistency might seem like the most important part of discipline, but we fail to realize that in order to maintain a consistency, we need to be prepared for it ourselves. That is, we need to know our limits and our capabilities so that we can be dressed up or we can wear the required protective gear and then proceed further. So that can help us stay consistent. It is impossible to stay consistent when you are struggling from the beginning. Like, there is no motivation if you keep being shunned or if you keep being knocked over and you are not ready for that. That's just going to demotivate you immediately. For example, if you are just learning how to ride a cycle, right? You can't, maybe some people are gifted enough to immediately start riding the cycle without the training wheels. But there are most of us who need those training wheels so that we can practice balance first with those training wheels and then slowly take them off. So that's how you maintain consistency. For my next point, I would like to talk about how important it is to push yourself to show up because the rest will just follow right after. So, what I've experienced as the hardest part of doing a task is to get started. It is so difficult to just get started because I think about, oh my god, I need to prepare for this, I need to, what if this goes wrong, what if that goes wrong. I just occupy myself with so many things that just prevent me from starting. And I realized that once I started, it's so much more easier for me to just figure it along the way. Once I have already started, I'm in that flow. Okay, so it is like so much more easier to just do the thing instead of worrying about doing something and not doing it at all. So if you can just push yourself to get to the starting point, it'll be so much easier to reach the finish. It doesn't matter if you win the race or not. It's all about reaching the finish at your own pace. And that's the most important part of discipline. And in order to know that, It is so important to be self-aware and know your limits, know how much you are capable of, and use that to your advantage. Take competitions, for example. Okay, so you are at an event, okay, and someone is doing amazingly. Everyone is cheering for that one person who's doing amazingly. What about the rest of the people who are participating? Are they so bad that no one deserves their cheer? Should they stop going forward or stop the event because no one's cheering for them? I completely disagree if you said yes, because it is so important to finish the race, so important to get your part done. Okay, and people, so how cheerleaders work is that one person cheers for someone and the rest will follow, or someone does so well, then they just can't help but cheer for that person. So it is so important for you to be that first person who cheers for yourself. Be your own hype man and the rest will follow. Because obviously, once you cheer for yourself, you're going to be so motivated to do your best, and being your best is just going to make others want to cheer for you, like how you've been cheering for yourself when no one else did. And I think that's beautiful. My next tip on how you can practice discipline in your life is by completely taking away any type of negative self-talk. We don't realize the impact that words have on us until we change that, right? So I used to be such a negative person. I used to always find fault in everything I did because I thought that I was being critical of myself to get better. But it just made me feel so insecure. It made me question everything I thought about myself, and it just ruined so many opportunities for me. Acknowledging that you did mess up is very important. I agree. You can't lie to yourself that, say for example, I created a piece and I didn't like it. Okay, so it wasn't up to my expectations. But I can't lie to myself saying, yeah, that's beautiful. I know deep down it's not. Okay, but it is so important for me to not beat myself up after that. So I can't just say, yuck, this is so bad, I'm good for nothing, I can't create anything. That is also a lie to myself, because just because I struggled once doesn't mean it's going to stay the same. I always learn from my mistakes. Everyone does. That's the beauty of making a mistake. You always learn from it. Beating yourself up only reassures your mind that what it's telling itself is true. So me saying, oh my god, this is a horrible piece, I'm good for nothing, it's just going to keep telling my brain that, and my brain is going to believe that, which is a lie, which is not true. I know that it's not true. And that changed when I stopped talking negatively to myself. So talk to yourself like you would a friend. My aunt used to be really terrified of escalators, and my brother used to always make fun of her, saying, oh my god, you're gonna get crushed in the middle. And she used to just be so scared. She used to never take the escalator for a long time, until one day I decided, wait, maybe I can show her it's not that scary. So I held her hand, and together we were able to make it up the escalator. And that was a great win, because now she's not afraid of escalators as much as she was when she first got here. So that's how your brain works. You need to hold your brain's hand and walk through the difficulties and reassure it that it is not as scary as it seems. So that's how important it is to stop negative self-talk. Talking to yourself negatively is just going to reassure all the fears that it has in itself. So being kind to yourself, being a positive person to yourself is like holding its hand and walking up the escalator. It's just comforting that person so that it is able to make it across the escalator. And that's how it is in life. So if you are able to comfort yourself and push through the failures or whatever mistakes that you have made, you can make it to the top, and eventually you will be completely over your fear of taking an escalator. Identifying and acknowledging is only half the job done. So, like I had mentioned in my previous point, right, it is important to acknowledge if it is something you don't like, or it is something that probably didn't go the way you planned, but that's okay. But as long as you don't beat yourself up and you realize that, oh wait, this is why I'm feeling this way. This event has made me feel inferior, or this artwork is not up to my expectation. So I'm going to push myself to get better, to reach my expectations. That's what should come out of this. And that's what discipline helps you create. It helps you push yourself to reach your ultimate potential. It is normal human behavior to look back and to check to make sure nothing's going wrong. But it is important for us to retrain ourselves to not worry once we have checked that. So, like I had mentioned earlier in the cycles with the training wheels situation, once you take off your training wheels, it is going to be scary, but you need to reassure yourself that you were able to ride the cycle with the training wheels. So, it's not going to be that hard. You need to retrain yourself to realize that it isn't as scary and you can do it. You are just looking back because you are used to looking back and you are scared, but that's in the past and you can change that if you want by just training yourself, rewiring your brain to think the way that you would like to think now. It is so common for us to go back to an old habit because it is a habit for a reason. It was created because we were comfortable there. But if it's something that you don't like anymore, you can totally change it. You just need to realize that, oh wait, I'm thinking this way because back then I used to think this way about this situation, but I want to change it. And every time you catch yourself and change it and retrain yourself. So in the beginning, when I tried to completely take away all negative self-talk, I did catch myself being negative without unconsciously. And I realized that it was just me regressing back to my old ways. So every time I caught myself doing that, I would just replace that with a positive thought. And that changed because over time that slowly became a habit, and all my negative self-talk is just slowly dying down now. Consider it a system update. You know how your phones have that update every other month or so, right? So just think of it that way, and it makes it so much more easier to trick your brain or convince yourself that this is a new updated person. I am an updated Diya right now, and the old doesn't affect me because I'm new. I'm a new and upgraded version of Diya. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you all have watched till the end, here's a quick homework that I would like for you all to try out because it has helped me as well. I need you all to find one small task, okay, that you find really difficult to maintain consistency with, okay, that you find that you struggle with to do regularly, okay? So you take that one task. Identify why is it so difficult for you to keep doing this every day. Is it something that you actually want to do every day? Ask yourself these questions, dissect it entirely, okay? Once you have found the problems to why you can't do it, it's easy to find solutions, okay? Keep a reminder. Maybe even ask your family members or your friends to remind you about it or help you out. That would be a bonus. And stick to it every day. See how it changes your life. For example, suppose you want to brush your teeth every night. Okay, that's one small task, but it can be difficult because it's not something everybody practices, right? But maybe it's something you want to practice. So keep a reminder. Okay, first thing, I'm keeping it at 9 p.m. for example. That's maybe right after eating dinner. But I find maybe you're finding it difficult to practice it regularly because there's no one to remind you, or you don't like the aftertaste, or you prefer to brush after dinner, or whatever it may be. Find solutions to those problems and push yourself to do that one thing every single day, no matter how difficult it is. Push yourself to do that one thing. It's going to change your life, because it's going to reassure yourself that you can stick to your words. It can help you get that self-respect. It's going to be like that teacher in school that you respect and you want to listen to, because you know that you're going to learn from them and they know what's best for you and you believe in that. So you're going to identify that teacher in you. That's what this task is going to do for you. So that's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please feel free to subscribe if you all want more of these, and let me know how you all felt about the previous video in the comments below. I love you all so much and I am so happy to be doing this. Bye.